time between Burton and Danny Brown, whose careers have gone in quite contrasting fortunes since they last fought 2 years ago, which Burton won on points. Brown hasn't won since, and his record now is slipped to 3-12-1.
Yeah, it's almost 2 years today since these two fought last, but I know Danny Brown comes into this fight off a 9-week training camp, which he's never really had before coming, as he's more recently taken on the title of journeyman. So I hear from behind the scenes that he's really up for this fight and he's training extremely hard, and he wants to right the wrongs that were perhaps happened in the first fight almost 2 years ago, and this is for the International Masters Bronze title. So it's a title, okay, it may not be the biggest title out there, but it's still a title for them both to fight for.
A 9-week training camp for a guy who's only won 3 out of 16 fights is quite huge, isn't it, really?
Absolutely, depending on how many weeks he's had beforehand, and I would imagine, looking from his record, he hasn't had a lot of notice for a lot of the fights, so I'd be interested to see how he progresses in this fight and how that training camp will seem. But Burton gets through with a nice strike right hand there. Burton burrowing forward, and Burton's only loss is coming by way of a knockout to Lee Markham, who features a little bit later on the show.
Both fighters getting straight down to business here. Obviously they fought each other before, there's no feeling out process.
They know each other. Brown also knows that Burton could be hurt, as we said earlier, Markham stopped him with a lovely overhand right coming into the last round of their fight. So it'd be interesting that Danny, and obviously we talked about Joseph Rowland in the corner before, he's featured quite a lot tonight. He's in Danny Brown's corner, very experienced trainer, so I'm sure that they've done their homework. He had a fairly good amateur pedigree, Danny Brown. He started boxing at the age of 16, had 25 amateur fights and won 2/3 of them, but I know he was involved in a car crash at 24 years old, which kept him out of the ring for a lot of years, and I think he's 36 as he stands here today, so he's had a few years out, a good, I think 7 years out of the ring, so he's making up for lost time.
Fairly close opening round between the southpaw Brown and orthodox fighter Burton. It's not a lot in this, is it?
No, very feeling out, although they've fought before. It's a very close, nice right hook to the body there, got through. Edging Burton just looks a little bit stronger at the opening round, a little bit cleaner work going through, but he's certainly not winning the rounds massively, but I'd say he's just edging it at the moment.
Yeah, nicely poised this 8 rounder, and in fact I've not ever heard of a title fight that's scheduled over 8 rounds before.
No, well I think it's because it's the International British Master Bronze title. As you said, it's not the biggest title, so it's interesting to see how this will pan out and how it continues as the fighters fade and the fitness will really come in, and this is where that 9 weeks that Danny Brown was talking about in the training camp may come into play, and it'll be very interesting to see how it pans out.
Of course it will vary, Kevin, but typically, how much notice do fighters get? I mean, obviously, ideally they'll be ticking around in the gym anyway, but
you would like to think they're ticking around the gym. Not all pros do, unfortunately. Some wade in and out, and it's really down to the fighter. Some you have to literally kick out of the gym, and some you have to drag to the gym. And it will really depend on whether you're a ticket seller or whether you're one that's on the road. If you're in the away corner or you're on the road, it's very much shorter notice that you would get for fights than if you was to sell 200 tickets. And that's why it's so important for young prospects to try and build a fan base and try and get ticket sales, because it does make it that much easier for you in the pro ranks if you can sell a ticket.
Round 2 then, after a very close opening round, which we think was just shaded by Burton. It's Brown looking to force the fight, he's trying to hold the centre of the ring.
Yeah, I think he's going to try and use his range and try and use his jab. The feet aren't tying up at the moment, and Burton seems to be getting his left foot on the outside of Brown. Brown keeps getting caught on the inside of that, so he could end up being caught by Burton's straight right hand, which he did catch him with in the first round. But it's Burton that's charging across the ring to try and close with Danny, and Danny's from Wickford, which is not far from where I am, so I've seen him fight a few times before.
Fairly cagey start here so far. No fights are really establishing themselves just yet.
Nice left
by Brown, probably the best action of the fight so far. You'll gain confidence from that.
Absolutely, yeah. It's that's a nice left hand there. Trying to draw Burton in there and then counter with the left hand. Both fighters seem to have equal amount of support in the hall tonight, which is nice to see. It's a real 50-50 pick and fight this.
Been the best around for Brown so far. He's got through.
Heads coming together now. There, lovely by Danny Brown. 2 and 3 long shots.
A spell for Brown.
So 2 and 3 shots seem to work there, and he's using the 1-2s and the straight shots down the middle to catch Burton. Burton seems to look for the lead left hook and then the right hand, with that counter left hand from Danny Brown, and with the right-handed jab seems to be catching him from time to time. Looking for the left hand lead, Brown.
Burton missing wildly. Oh, he could get through the right hand then though.
Nice right hand on the chin. Did seem to stand in the left hand there. Did seem to rock Danny, but he seems to have taken it quite well.
Good action.
Nice left uppercut there as Burton comes in.
Yeah, good action now as we approach the end of the second round. Took a while to get it going. It's just warming up nicely though.
Second half of the second round is definitely both having successes. How are you scoring this one so far?
I gave the first round to Burton. I think he shaded it, but I think undoubtedly Brown's produced better work in this session.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I think if it continues as it is, a score at 1 each at the moment, but there's still time, anything can happen. Burton just seems to be charging forward. He seems to start from too far out and kind of rushing forward. I'd like to see him move his head a little bit more and work his feet gradually closer.
Is Burton trying to force his work a bit here, Kevin?
I think so. I think he's trying to rush forward, and Brown in that round was very good at timing the left hand, the lead left hand as he came in. So I'd like to see Burton just move his feet gradually closing the distance and working from there rather than leaping forward. And what Brown's doing is stepping back, half a step back, throwing the left hand down the middle, and which was the success which in my card won him that round.
Nicely poised on this 8-rounder. We've given 1 round to each fighter so far. And I'd probably say Danny Brown, his timing seems to be a little better.
In that round, certainly, he seemed to time Burton as he was coming in, as we were saying. Like to see, as we said, Burton trying to establish the jab a little bit more, try and work from a little bit, work closer rather than trying to raid from too far. It's nicely poised, 1 each, 6 more rounds to go. We have to remember this is for a title, so good support here for both fighters.
Burton will be hoping to build on the success he had towards the end of the second round there, but by and large Brown controlled round 2. And yet again he's got the centre of the ring.
Yeah, Brown will be encouraged by it, and lovely shots. And this is what we were saying before, Burton rushed in and Brown's got his timing from that last round and just started to time Burton now. Especially that left hand lead. The left hand lead seems to catch Burton as he comes in. Burton seems to be getting his feet in the right position. He seems to, as an orthodox fighter, you try to keep your front foot on the outside of the southpaw's right foot to keep him there, because then you know he's in line for his right hand. So he tends to seem to get his feet into place, but Danny's timing as he comes in.
Brown just waiting a bit too long there. He had supremacy in the centre of the ring, but didn't get his shots off, and Burton countered.
Nice shots there from Danny Brown timing. Burton again, I still think is trying to force his work a bit too much, just rushing forward. Needs to just take his time, needs to just work little steps, working in. We hit a corner, calling for 1-2s there for Danny Brown's 1-2 down the middle, which has worked so well for him in the second and third round so far.
Brown perhaps just waiting a bit too long to get his shots off in this round. Caught by a right hand there.
Maybe I think Danny's trying to work on the counter punch and let him come in. The success has come as Burton's rushed him and he's countered the 1-2. Little half step and then he attacks back. So I think that's how Brown's unlocking Burton so far, is just waiting for him to come in and then attacking him once he falls short.
Brown to score?
Difficult round to score. I've got Brown ahead at the moment. I think he's got the cleaner work. I think Burton again is just trying to force the work too much. Every time Burton lands, Brown's always got an answer. He looks to return a shot every time that Burton lands, and that's a good tactic. It stops Burton from getting some rhythm, it stops him from getting some momentum.
Yeah, it's fair to say Burton's not solved the puzzle just yet, and Brown definitely looks the more comfortable of the two fighters as we approach the end of the third round here.
And let's not forget that Burton won the first fight of these two, so it's interesting to see at the moment that I have Brown winning this at the moment. Good work again from both fighters. The ref getting caught up now. Burton trying to take advantage of the referee stumble, and Brown looking around there, but
it's a good job that Brown got his hands up there. I think then we saw a typical moment in the fight where Burton tried to land his right hand, it missed, and he was countered by the southpaw jab of Brown. And that's the way the fight's going here. Small margins, but Brown's just nicking the fight.
Yeah, that's the way I'm seeing it at the moment. I have Brown 2-1 at the moment from the way I see it. I think the first round obviously we gave to Burton, but I think Brown is starting to time Burton. Burton's got to do something different. If it carries on this one, the fight is going to run away from him.
Yeah, I'll say it, unlike other title fights, this is, we'll say again, it's only 8 rounds, so you can't afford to fall too far behind.
No, exactly, and you know, no one's hurt each other at the moment, so it doesn't seem that the power, anyone's got necessarily the power to hurt each other at the moment. So it could be a cards fight, and if that's the case, you can't afford to fall behind. And if we're in the fourth round and he's 2-1 down, he's got to win this round if he's going to stand any chance of picking up this international Masters Bronze title.
Round 4 of the rematch between Burton and Danny Brown, and so far the rematch is not going how the first fight went. It's still early days, but Danny Brown could be well pleased with the start he's made.
Well, maybe there is some purpose to what they're saying about the training camp. And a nice right hand there, they're going off and training. Nice right hand there from Danny Brown catching Burton there as it rushed in, exchanging shots. I see the one clean shot from Brown there, that was about it. That's a little bit better there, the double jab and the right hand for Burton, and a right uppercut there, that's better work from Burton.
Brown's certainly keen to tie him up on the inside when Burton wants to get his hands free.
Well, I think he's making it easy for Brown to tie him up. Burton's rushing forward, and if Danny's then catches him and then tying him up once he falls in, he kinds of falling forward into the shots, Burton. And let's not forget, Burton is, you know, the one with the winning record and only had that one loss. Okay, he's still very raw, he's still very new in his fights. He's had 5 fights so far. Drawn 1, lost 1, and obviously won 3.
And again there, we just saw an example of what you're saying, Kevin. Yeah, we have Brown back Burton up into a neutral corner, yet wouldn't let his hands go. So he's waiting for Diego to commit himself.
Yeah, and this is the experience, as we said before, that their careers have gone in different directions since they fought 2 years ago. Danny's obviously been more active, and he's obviously got more experience. Okay, he hasn't got the wins, but at the moment, certainly he's showing. You know, he's the experienced fighter and seems to have sold Burton a little bit. But I do think Burton has come back into this round a little bit better.
Yeah, perhaps on sheer persistence alone, there's an argument for Burton to be nicking this round.
Yeah, it's a very close round, this one. And this is the difference, what we were saying before about records don't always tell the story. Danny's been much more active, and sometimes that can really help fight. A nice left hand down the middle there from Danny. Nice left hook to the body there from Burton. Left hook lead again there as Danny rushed in that time, as Brown rushed in and Burton caught him with a left hand counter hook there.
Well, it's clear what Brown's tactics are. I do think he needs to up his work rate a little bit here, because these rounds are very, very close, and you know, Burton's definitely nicked this round so far. Yeah,
he's worked. Well, this is more, and we did say at the end of last round we need to see something different from Burton. Fair play to him, he's come out this round, he has upped his work rate, and he's got through a little bit more. Danny hasn't been able to time him quite so well this round. Nice left hand right hook there, and that's the shot that you'd want So right hand, left hook there from the Burton. That's the kind of shot you want against the southpaw. Is the right hand, the lead right hand, and the left hook. As the left hook comes over and from outside the field of vision from the southpaw over his right shoulder. And
good response from Burton.
Very good response. Even it up.
Yes. I think it was like we won that session because Brown looked quite comfortable at the end of the third. He was in a nice rhythm, and Burton just knocked him out of that again.
And maybe the corner asked for something different from Burton as we did, and we see it there. Burton came out and tried a little bit more and set nicely now. Coming up to the second half of the fight, we have it 2 rounds apiece.
Yep, nice boys.
I think both corners will be fairly happy the way it's gone so far. Neither fighter's really taken a hold of this fight by the scruff of the neck, and coming into the second half of the fight, Ben, I'd like to see one of the fighters really show that they want this and take this fight by the scruff of the neck. And
what advice would you give to Brown, Kevin, in between rounds? He's had quite a nice start, but I think he just needs to build on it somehow.
yeah, I think just tell Brown what he was doing, it was working for him in the second and third fight. Just take that half a step back, time him as he comes in, as he's rushing in, and look for that left hand lead and go from there. That's what I would be saying to Brown, like that, as he rushes in and then returning straight away. That's what's worked for him. I think he got a little bit overwhelmed by Burton in the last round. Burton just stepped in a little bit more, but Danny does seem to be back on to trying to time Burton a little bit more. And again, left hand, nice left hook there from Burton.
Yeah, Burton's almost trying to employ raiding tactics now, where he's rushing in, but he's getting out quicker before Brown can counter.
And I think that's what he was trying to do over the first couple of rounds, but not so successfully, as Danny was timing the shots, and Brown doesn't seem to be timing him quite so well just now, and that's why I think Burton's getting a bit more success. He is raiding in and out. It's a very close round, this one.
Yeah, great place. Again, Burton might just be shading it on work rate. Good right hand there as well by Burton. He's certainly improving his advice.
Yeah, he seems to be growing into it a little bit more. Dropping his left hand there, trying to goad Brown in. Managed to turn him now. Trading hooks.
Yeah, it's less on Brown as the fight's going on. He probably needs a decisive round.
Yeah, as we were saying, someone needs to take this fight by the scruff of the neck. I think Burton's worked slightly harder in this round, and I'm edging towards Burton as it stands, but Danny's coming back with some nice shots there. Not one fighter's really taken control of the centre of the ring yet and bullied the other person about it. It's been very to and fro, and trading hooks again now. Nice right hook there from Burton.
Burton who's just starting to
nice
get
right
the exchanges now. Good left hook. First signs that Brown's just starting to struggle now with Burton's work rate. He's very much in his face, and Danny wants to get that half step back.
He did answer back quite well, and he's not been hit by many clean shots as Brown, so it's still a very pick and fight. And Brown, with his back on the ropes, is coming forward now. What a finish to the round. And that proves, Ben, this may be the International Masters Bronze title, but it shows what it means to these fighters. It's still a professional title, it doesn't matter which way you slice it, it's still a professional title, and they showed it just there, absolutely, how much they want it, and it's good to see.
Yeah, strong finish to the round there, and I'm intrigued to see whether it's taking much out of either fighter. Brown seems to be tiring to me.
Yeah, I thought that, just apart from the last flurry, although Burton came on strong there, I think the last part of the round was down to Brown. Burton was swinging well with shots, but Brown wasn't taking many clean, and I think 30 seconds before the fight, before the end of the round, it was Burton, but the last bit at the end there, I think Brown was just in it. So very, very close round to score that one, a very, very close round.
Just watching the corner quite closely there in between rounds, and Jason Rowell really reading Brown the right side there.
Yeah, he did tell Danny. I think it's because he let Burton come on, and as we talked about, his work rate press on now. So I think Jason's just letting him know that he can't afford to let Burton, his work rate overwhelm Brown too much. So I think he was just reminding him of that, and that's better from Brown.
We're in round 6, and I suppose, given the fact it's 8 rounder, we're in the championship rounds now, I suppose, really.
Yeah, very much so. And how did you score the last round? Who have you got ahead?
Yeah, I thought Burton nicks it again. I'm going 3-2 up now.
Yeah, I'm the same. I think Burton is just edging on that last round, but it was a very, very close. I couldn't argue if it went either way, to be honest, that last round.
Brown coming forward now.
Trading in the corner now. He's got to be careful, Brown, there. He was a bit square up when he was throwing the shots, but it was good shots from Brown. Nice defensive work there.
Both men trying to battle and get a foothold in this fight.
I'd just like to see one of the fighters establish a jab and just really take hold and try and take a scruff, like we said, take the fight by the scruff of the neck, just trying to establish themselves. They're both sort of waiting for each other. It swings from one way to the other then.
So we're seeing some more intelligent boxing from Burton now.
A nice left hand there from Danny Brown. And back comes Burton. Well, equal amount of shots wading in. It swings from Burton to Brown to Brown to Brown.
Yeah, very few clean shots landed there. Probably Brown might have got a better of that exchange, just in terms of sheer accuracy. Not a lot between them again though.
Depends on how they're scoring this at ringside, whether you go for the Danny Brown with perhaps the cleaner work and maybe the timing, or whether you go with Burton's higher work rate and pressure, and whether it's they're scoring the shots that are landing on the gloves, or what a nice combination there from Brown.
Good point by Brown. Burton's trapped in the neutral corner.
And Brown's got Burton trapped in his corner as well.
Good response by Danny Brown. He needed this round.
Yeah, I've got Brown winning this round. I think the cleaner work should have been from him in this round. Nice little throw there, getting Burton trapped in his own corner. Nice left there from Burton, Owen. Again, Burton just attacked from a little bit far out. Danny timing him there. He stepped back from the first one, and then threw the left hand there and did catch him.
Ties it up, I think,
Yeah, I think so. 3 apiece coming in. So this makes this final 2 rounds coming up very, very important.
It's a very difficult fight to call. Neither fighter has been able to dominate 2 rounds in a row. It's going either way, isn't it? Back and forth all the time.
Absolutely, it's swung from one to the other and back again. So it'll be interesting to see. I think this 7th round is hugely important coming up. I think whoever wins this round is going to have the
momentum into the last round.
Absolutely, yeah, the mental edge to go into the last round and from there. So this is a hugely important round, and I'm sure that's what the corners will be telling them.
I'm going to put you on the spot, Kevin. Who's going to win the fight?
It's a difficult one to say. I couldn't pick at the moment. I've changed my mind about 4 times throughout the fight. Maybe we'll know more after this round, Ben.
Yeah, Burton's slow up off his still, but both guys still got plenty left in the tank, I think.
I think you get that extra second win when there's a title on the line. Nice jab there from Burton, and in response, and a nice jab in response from Brown. Burton at the moment seems to be just throwing a single shot, whereas Danny Brown seems to have success by tying the 2 and 3 shots up. Maybe if Burton was to tie the 2 or 3 shots up, he'd catch Brown a bit more.
Yeah, both fighters are very, very well matched. Just Brown is not wanting to commit himself, and Burton's also thinking twice before raiding in recklessly. A bit of a stalemate at times.
But it's been for a good fight. It hasn't been a cancer show, a boring fight. They both had a go there, and that's much better. This is what we were talking about there. Double jab, then the left hand from Danny Brown, and it gets success. But as the way the fight's gone, Burton comes back straight away.
Absolutely.
Right hand from Burton. And Brown's going back to the corner there, but Burton manages to work his way out of the corner.
Nice use of the jab there by Burton. Stop Brown from being able to mount his attacks. Definitely making more use of the jab this round.
He didn't take advantage there. Burton double jabbed and got round the side of Brown there. If he'd have thrown a straight right hand down the middle, he could have caught Brown there. He got a nice angle on him. Lovely lead left hook there by Burton. Great shot. Nice right hand from Burton.
Who can find that extra gear? And based on the 7th, it's Burton at the moment.
Yeah, Burton's had the cleaner work, but then back comes Brown with a right hand there.
Burton just seems shaken a little by that shot there. It's like a right hand come uppercut.
I wonder if fatigue's playing a part now. When fighters are fatigued, the shots that wouldn't normally hurt them rocks into their boots. So it'd be interesting to see as it goes forward. A great response from Danny Brown there. We thought Burton might be.
Barring that scare though, I think Burton's largely just shaded this round really. And going into the 8th, I think Burton might just be in front.
Yeah, I think, although they've both had their successes in this round, I think it's been more sustained from Burton during this round. This is where a knockdown could be fatal one way or the other for either fighter. Burton trying to establish his double jab there again on that last bit just before the end of the round. They did attack from a little bit far out. Coming into the final round now, Ben. How do you have it scored so far?
I've got Burton just nicking it, and I think tactically it's going to be quite interesting now. Does Burton think that he's far enough ahead? Does he sit back? Or does he try and go out and win the last round to put it beyond dispute? But then will that lead him to make mistakes?
Yeah, I actually scored that round a draw. I think it was quite even. I think they both had shots that got through it both times. So I've got them even going into the last round. So it'll be very interesting. I think both are going to go for it in this round. They've got to. It's a title fight. I don't think either corner can be sure that they've got the fight or they're ahead on the cards. So I think it's going to be a very, very interesting last round, and we're going to find out who wants it more. It's a very difficult one to score this. You can score it either way.
Right on cue, Kevin, both fighters come out swinging.
As we knew they would, it's like I said, I don't think either corner can be sure that they're ahead on the cards, and they're really swinging for the fences. Which fighter can keep this sustained sort of pressure up, or can they? That's the key.
Yeah, again, there's not a lot of shots that are landing accurately. There's plenty of endeavour there.
It's a lot of messy work on the inside. No one's really got through with any eye-catching clean shots so far in this round.
Tactics go out the window now. It's just sheer application. Both boxers trying to go at it.
Absolutely, grit and determination, and this is where the boys really earn their money. When you're tired, you know, let's be honest, professional boxers, you know, certainly they still don't earn the money that they deserve to earn. You know, a lot of them have to train with jobs, and you know, there isn't loads of money in the sport at this level, and they really do earn their money into these rounds when you're tired.
It's the final 90 seconds, and again another round that you can make a case for either fighter.
Been very messy, no one's got really any clean shots. Danny got a couple of shots there from on the inside. A lot of it's been tying up, grabbing a breather when they can. Nice right hand there by Burton. Didn't really land clean, he caught Brown off balance a little bit. And then they go into trading shots again. Nice left hook from Burton now. I'm glad I'm scoring this one.
It's been difficult because both fighters this round have matched each other's work rate. Many Burton's landed the cleanest shot. Difficult. Yeah.
Nice,
again,
nice left from Burton there. I mean, I've got them equal going into this round, so it's really whoever wins this round, it's still equal. I think one eye-catching punch can swing the round in either fighter's favour at the moment.
Couldn't it be Burton? He's had some success with the left hook. He's got through a couple of times on that.
The left hook and right hand is the shots to throw against the southpaw fighter. But as I said, no one's really landed anything massively clean. It's been very messy. But they both won it. Nice flurry there from Danny. 6-shot combination, then turn. Lovely by Danny Brown now. And that could be the flurry or the shots that could turn the fight, man.
I had Burton shading around, but after Brown's story, I got it even again now.
And it's over. The crowd has gone mental here. They really enjoyed that.
Great respect shown by both fighters. I'm going to get off the fence. I've got Burton nicking it by a single point.
Yeah, I think Burton possibly won that last round, so I'm leaning towards Burton, but only very slightly. I'll be honest, Ben, if it's awarded the other way, there'll be no argument from me.
Yeah,
very close
I
fight.
I agree with that. Good fight. Two well-matched fighters against you in plenty of respects.
And we said before the fight that equal fighter had equal support. But I don't know if you noticed there, Ben, at the end of the 8th round, the whole of York Hall was on their feet applauding now. They really enjoyed that one. So I think they've got a few extra fans here, Burton and Brown.
I could be wrong, but given it's an 8-rounder, I've got a feeling Jeff Hines will be scoring this fight. I'm not sure they'll have 3 judges.
I'm not honestly sure, yeah. To be honest, Ben, I would imagine it would be Jeff. I can't see any more officials sat at the side to score it, but it will be interesting to see how the referee scored it. Let's find out.